This is June 2016. I find myself in Hungary, which is in Central Europe. I have been invited to see and support a remarkable development. But what is remarkable in Eastern Europe? Hungary is a small country with just 10 million population. But it is very divided society. There are privileged and there are underprivileged. There are white Hungarian and there are Roma people. And they have discovered Dr. Ambedkar. It seems Dr. Ambedkar's ideas have traveled thousands of miles from India. I have come to meet a community that are embracing Dr. Ambedkar for themselves. I was warmly welcomed by the founder of Dr. Ambedkar School, Janusz. He showed me the school. I was deeply pleased and gone wordless when I saw a bust of Dr. Ambedkar. I kept gazing at it with pleasant surprise. Janusz told me he got it as a gift from an Indian ambassador. This is the first image of Dr. Ambedkar in Hungary.
We have a really good connection with the Indian embassy. Dr. Ambedkar High School was the first visit for Indian ambassador. And he gave us Dr. Ambedkar statue, which is in our school building now. And we are really proud about it, because this is the first Dr. Ambedkar statue in all Europe. I was born in a very small gypsy settlement. We are 7 sisters and brothers. We lived in a really small house. We had only one small kitchen and one small room, and we were 9 people there. And for gypsy, after elementary school, if we could finish elementary school, it's okay, we could go to the factories. If we couldn't finish elementary school, we could go also to the factory. To be gypsy in Europe, it's really bad, because the white people have a really big prejudice, which is not true. Not all gypsy are smelly. Not all gypsy are dirty and stealing and lying and I don't know. They don't have really inspiration how gypsy are in normal life, because they don't have program together. If you see this village, for example, or many villages, the white people never meet with gypsy. They don't have connection, friendship, anything. They just know from prejudice what is mean to be Hungarian, what is mean to be gypsy, but they don't have reality.
As a Roma, I born in the Roma settlement, and I struggle a lot, with this discrimination. Not necessarily in the school, but wherever I am going, I saw how they are treating Roma, and I decide, that to fight for this, because I believe that all people are equal. And we are all human beings in the one world, and we should not face discrimination based on something what we cannot decide. For example, skin color, language, sex, and so on. So that's why I thought, as long as I am alive, I will try to help people who are in the same situation like I born.
Hát az emberek közt különbség nincsen, a cigányok közt, de a magyarok közt, meg a cigány közt van a különbség, hogy például volt egy olyan helyzet, hogy én bementem egy restébe, és megmondták nekem, hogy sajnos cigányokat nem szolgálhatunk ki. Hát 900-an élünk itt a telepen, A város, olyan, meg az iskola gyerekek 3 kilométert mennek, télben, nyárán, busz nincs, és nincs nekünk itt semmi. Hangszóró, mint város, ha jelentik valamit a város, mert arról nem tudunk, csak mivel nincs hangszóró. Bódék vannak, vagy 70 bódé van, amiből laknak olyan 300 fő. A blokkokban, meg a bódékban víz nincs, villany se, csak a szociális házakban van víz, meg villany. És ugyebár el vagyunk dugva a várostól. Én úgy érzem, hogy mintha ellenék diszkriminálva lennék. Mert egy helyen ennyi cigán lenni, egy roma, és nem jól érzem magamat itt.
You know, I was adult man when I started secondary school. In normal time, if somebody starting secondary school, he or she is 14 years. I was 22. It was really interesting for me to realize it's possible for poorest people, for gypsy, to go to secondary school. I don't really understood in that time what is secondary school, because I didn't have example before, you know.
We were 18 people and I was the only one who was Roma, and one of my teacher was giving me one, which is the worst grade in Hungary. So, and I had only 5 in my things, and I was super upset. I was feeling, oh, I have the same rights. And I was going, and he was the old, like rector, you know, the highest. And I was saying, I'm really sorry. I really would like to know why you give me one. I said everything as you were giving on the lessons, and I read all the books. What is wrong? And he was just simply saying, oh dear, you know, you are the only Roma in this class, and you have to know 10 times more than other does you to get 2. And I was really upset. I was just throwing the paper and I left the room.
So to be a good student in secondary school or in university as a gypsy is not really easy. It's not easy because if you go in the secondary schools, you cannot see gypsy. It's really easy to find out who are gypsy because we have dark skin, you know. And if you want to remain in your classroom in secondary school or in university, you must to study in 2 times more than white people because they don't believe in you.
So for me in the first year it was quite difficult because I didn't talk with anybody. I didn't talk. I didn't have friends because I didn't want to talk with them, and they didn't want to talk with me. In my first class we have a judo class, and I didn't have clothes for the judo, to making judo, and I was asking my judo teacher, maybe you should give me clothes to make judo. And he gave me clothes, but he brought in the classroom and he told me I should try in front of everybody. There were just boys, but I was shy because I came from a small village. And I told him, maybe I should go to the, I don't know how can you say, the changing room, where you can change the dress room, yeah. And he told me, no, you should dressing up now. And I told him, no, I won't. And he just beat me, yeah. He gave me a, I don't know how can you say, a flip, I don't know. And I have to stay in the class. And I have to continue, and I had to dress up in front of everybody.
My first high school was so really bad about my bad days because my family is not so really rich. We are poor, and my father don't get always a job because he is gypsy. So if he wanna work, he should go, I don't know, a foreign country. When I was at school in Miskolc, they are liked it when I was sad or I don't know, and they enjoying me, so it was bad.
In Hungarian population, in age from 14 until 18, the youngsters, 80% of youngsters have final exam in secondary school. But if you go in the gypsy areas, you cannot find 80%. You can find less than 1%. This is a huge distance, you know. In the same country, in the same village, in the same city, it's terrible. It's really shocked.
Gypsy community is like a Dalit caste in India. It's practically closed for others, and it's not really possible to leave that caste for the gypsies who were born gypsies.
If you live in gypsy area, you can be sure your life is elementary school or less than elementary school, public work and die in same streets, not more. I was in that time in the final year in secondary school, and he gave me a book of Dr. Ambedkar's life. You know, it was in English, no, in French language, and Tibor and Miklos, who is Dhamma Mitra, helped me, and they translate for me some pages about Dr. Ambedkar's life, and I read it, and after I wrote entering in Buddhist college, it was my entering. It was a really new thing, even for Buddhist college, because they didn't know who is Dr. Ambedkar.
We had many Buddhist friends all over Europe and mostly in Hungary, but we never heard the name of Dr. Ambedkar.
After when I read about Dr. Ambedkar's life, you know, I was really happy because I find somebody who is really similar like us, who was fighting in the same way like we in our work, you know.
I see the similarities between the gypsies and the Dalits. For example, there are circumstances, the situation with the government, and how they want to change their life if they have an opportunity. The gypsies came from India, and if you go to the street and look around, you will see the gypsies. And if you ask a European man who is gypsy or who are Indian, if they see a picture about the gypsies and Dalits together in a picture we have, and they can't decide it, who is gypsy, who are not.
When I interacted with Igor, I was surprised to discover that there were many words in his mother tongue which were common in Hindi.
So what do you say for eating? Kha.
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 Means eat.
Yes.
P means drink.
Drink.
And how do you count number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10. 20?
20.
20.
I had a teacher in the Buddhist college who was in India in 2003, 2004, I don't know, and he met with Suputi. And Suputi spoke about Triratna movement in Maharashtra state, you know. And my teacher realized, oh, Suputi ran same work like Tibor and me in the southwest of Hungary. And he gave to Suputi my email address.
It was a big revelation for us to meet that huge movement.
I had a very big desire to visit India, and I told to him, please invite me because I would like to check your work in Maharashtra state. And he invited me and Tibor in India in 2005.
Welcome. No, come on. Oh, welcome. Hello. Hello. Welcome.
We went to a big retreat in Nagpur. That was the Dhammakranti retreat, and that was the point, the moment when we decided we would like to belong to that movement.
I met with the Triratna Buddhist people from England, and then I learned about Dr. Ambedkar, and we decided, you know, for our people will be really good empowerment, you know, to use his life experience and examples and to empower them to get in the education and to know that it's in my hand and I can change it anytime I want.
When I saw our Dalit friends are the leader in many organizations. They have a lot of girls hostels, boys hostels, even college, Million College I visited. And you know, I find everything. I was enlightened in that time. Oh my God, yeah, what I miss in my gathering, my organization, I find it because they have a good example who is Dr. Ambedkar.
We don't see now Ambedkar, but we could see his followers, like the Dalits. And we could see they can create new schools, new kindergartens, universities. And then if he could organize it, maybe we can do it in Hungary too, and the gypsies, and they can believe it.
When I went to Maharashtra state and I met with our Dalit Buddhist friends, and when I saw what they do in Buddhism, what is Buddhism for them, in that time I realized I want to be this kind of Buddhist like them. You know, this is the Buddhism that I want to share with my people in Hungary.
I felt I'm a member of them because we did the same work. They looks like me or János and the other gypsies at my home. And
A real miracle what Dalit people, mainly in Maharashtra, do in their own movement, and it's a source of inspiration and knowledge how to organize for us.
And when I was there was the December 6th, and there were a lot of people who were interested what Ambedkar did, and they follow his way, a lot of people. So I see the power in it, and I should follow it, I think.
We want to belong to that movement. In January 2006, we decided to set up the same movement in Eastern Europe.
When we came back to Hungary, in that time we create our own church. Our church name is Jaibim, network. This is a very, very important message, the name of our church, because our Dalit friends salute each other Jai Bhim. And in that time, we have now gathering, which is a religious gathering. Let us create our school. What kind of name would be better for Jai Bhim network to have a school? Dr. Ambedkar School. So, and we create our Dr. Ambedkar High School in Hungary in 2007.
Dr. Ambedkar told to Dalit people, go to cities. Because in a rural environment you will never have the same perspectives as in a big city. That is why we came to village.
You know, it's a huge poverty in this area. And there is really like bad life conditions. You can see the Roma settlements here, really improper housing and really low education. We had only one person who had high school education.
There are many villages in Hungary like this one. White people, middle class, left these villages. Only elderly people stayed here. And those who couldn't afford to leave the village are very poor people, mainly gypsies. These very poor people have many, many children. Like in Africa or in Bihar state, poor families. So these many, many children are born into a situation which is a trap for them. They couldn't leave this situation, and there are no possibilities here.
They spend all time, all life in really, really segregated life. They cannot see outside anything. And this is our message in Dr. Ambedkar High School. Let us be free.
That is why we want to open the gates for them, to let them study and go to cities, universities, to jobs. We brought the secondary school program here, but we want to bring them, these youngsters, to the cities with the help of this secondary school program.
Sorry about the vase. Milyen helyzetben mondjuk ezt? Hát összetörtem egy vázát. No, my glass is fine. Is that good? Ez jó? Mit jelent ez, hogy my glass is fine?
Now I'm working for the Dr. Ambedkar High School as a practitioner teacher. When I finished my school, I decided I should come here and have that work because I like it. I think if I teach, I can show them how they should live their life, what kind of decision they should make. Maybe I can be an example for them, and they are gypsy like me. So I feel the connection with them all the time because I'm one of them, one of the gypsies.
There is a problem with the early marriages, which we like it or not, it's quite common, you know. Usually girls are getting married in 12, 30 years old and having kids, which affects the health and also stop them to go to school. Why it's really good that Dr. Ambedkar school is here in the middle of the Roma settlements, because we avoid the difficulty to travel out. You know, they are poor, they will not be able to pay for transportation. They will not be able, you know, to go every day and come back. So with having the school here, we are basically fitting some basic needs. We are providing them here some food when they are in the school, and we are providing them help with the kids. If the girls has already kids and they are coming to the school, there are ladies who are playing. We have a kind of like a kindergarten here, and keeping the smaller and the biggest kids here.
I think the Dr. Ambedkar High School is better than the state's high schools or primary schools. For example, the local primary school, almost all of the students are gypsies. When our students came from the local primary school, they can't write and read normally. They don't understand what they read. They don't know the multiplication table. They don't know. So when we start our work here, in the first year we have to preparing them. We have to develop these skills. We have to teach them how they should write, how they should count. And we try to give them the basic competencies. The students spent 8 years in the primary school, and they don't know nothing really. The teachers, they don't want to teach really that students, because they are gypsies. They spend their 8 years and they don't know nothing.
Olyan 2009-ben lejött egy szervezet, amit úgy hívtak, hogy ETP Slovensko, ahol a Jan testvérem dolgozott, mint főnök, és akkor részt vettem egy pszichoterápis iskolasztatáson, ahol rájöttem arra, hogy soha se késő tanulni és megvalósítani a célomat, az álmomat. Az úgy volt, hogy mikor lejött ez az ETP Slovensko, volt nekünk egy olyan aktivitás, hogy iskolai utáni foglalkozást. És mi csináltunk egy színdarabot, amit igaz történetről ment, és kaptunk meghívást, hogy menjünk oda fellépni. No, én elmentem a színdarabbal oda fellépni, és nekem azt megtetszett. És azután meg olyan 3 éve ezelőtt itt volt az a probléma, hogy lejöttek a rendőrök, visszavertek minket, és akkor vettem a bátorságot, hogy megkérdezem az igazgatórat, hogy felvállal engemet oda diáknak, és úgy kerültem oda.
My parents found this school and it's better, and they told me I can try it, and if it's bad I can find another school, but I really like it.
Először igen, például mikor Saukazára kerültem, kikezdtek engemet nevetni az osztálytársaim, hogy 30 évesen elkezdtem középiskolába járni. De rá 2-3 hónap után megszerettek engemet, mert ugyanúgy viselkedtem, mint ők. És most jó barátok vagyunk.
The school is better because you are different. You are black, or I don't know, or you wear something different like the others. It doesn't matter because we are equal in here. If I had a bad day and I feel really sad, or I have a problem in home, they are so helpful with me. They're trying to help me. and they show me how to get a better life. For example, I want to go to university in Budapest, and before this school I didn't want this.
I can see the change in my students after they spend some time in our high school. For example, if I started to talking about the Dr. Ambedkar and he came from a poor family, they can feel the connection because they came from a poor family. Dr. Ambedkar had a lot of siblings, and our students have a lot of siblings too. They can imagine the circumstances of Ambedkar, what he had, and they see what their situation. So, if I'm talking about Dr. Ambedkar and his ideology, they could understand. They can be easily connected to the ideology.
At this moment, we had 100 of them who made the final exam. Most of these 100 youngsters go and find a job with this degree. But we try to send them to universities as well after. This is the next step.
Én amikor oda kerültem a Saukazarám, az Ambedkar iskolába, én nem tudtam törteket számolni. Nem tudtam, hogy létezik hindi vallás, buddhista vallás, és nem tudtam térképet olvasni, nem tudtam mi az a kontinenseket. Azokat nekem, mint a Dr. Ambedkar iskolában megtanították.
The founder of Jaivim Network and Ambedkar School is a Dhammamitra of Triratna Bauddha Mahasangha. We all met Dhammachari Subhuti, who is one of the senior most order member of TBM. Subhuti visits every year to a member of Jaivim Network, and he studies and practices Dhamma and inquires progress and express his concern of school with them.
How do you think we're doing?
In Hungary as well, students normally sit behind each other, so they can see the back of the other student, and they can see only the eyes of the teacher in a normal school. But we think it's not enough. We think interaction is a very important factor of learning anything. So that is why we make O-shape or U-shape in the class with chairs, and if they can react to each other, it's much better than to react only to the teacher. Because if I am behind others, my opinion is not important. But if I am one of those who are equal, my opinion can be important.
Nagyon nagy a különbség, mivel itt Kassán nem éreztem azt, hogy azt akarják a tanárok, hogy érettségizzünk, mivel nem foglalkoztak velünk. Ott adtak egy tankönyvet, és abból kellett tanulni, de itt Saukazán a tanárok nekünk kimagyaráznák, és addig minket magyaráznak, még meg nem értünk azt a tananyagot, és még külön órakat is adnak nekünk, úgyhogy érezni azt át, a Dr. Ambedkar iskolában tanároktól, hogy akarjuk azt, hogy érettségi legyen a gyerekeknek, mert szeretetből csinálni.
They are not able, at the age of 14, to place an event or a personality, what is in the press, in a context, in a space and time context. That is why we first open the map and we try to put everything on the map. And the time is the same problem. That is why we make a timeline everywhere and put every important event and persons on the timeline.
You can see the pictures, you can see the timeline. We put everything on it. What is it connected to Dr. Ambedkar? And you can see the pictures here. We all the time coming up with Dr. Ambedkar and with his ideology and with his slogans. You can see on the walls.
Dr. Ambedkar's life story and the meaning of his work is not a special subject in our school, but it is everywhere there. It is there in the course of history, in the course of geography. Our students know much more about India than other students in other high schools of Hungary.
We teach Buddhism too, but it's not in the central for us, because most of our students are Christian, and we have to catch the point where they can connect for the Dr. Ambedkar and the Buddhism. And this is the human rights.
India is something interesting in our school. It's not something far from here, but it's always here in the classroom, in the program.
We are learn a lot of things about Dr. Ambedkar in here, and we meditate yesterday. I feel when I meditate, I feel better. I feel so lazy and calm, and I don't know. So it's really great.
A minister of Hungary government responsible for education visited Ambedkar school. I was invited to give a presentation before Minister of Education about how the education policies of Dr. Ambedkar helped Indian government. The program began with beautiful music.
Education became sort of the vital policy which brought great changes in millions of lives in untouchables, lower caste, and whoever disadvantaged people in India. And these policies were mainly formulated by Dr. Ambedkar, who is one of the most important figure of modern India.
We are in good way. We are beginner, but I think we are in good way. And when I see we have more and more students who finish secondary school and entering university, this is a really small number with Indian minds, you know, because if I tell you we have almost 100 students who finish secondary school, for you it's practically nothing. But for us it's a huge number.
11-es vagyok, és több mint valószínű, hogy jövőre leérettségizek, és megvalósul egy álmom. Az álmom az, hogy tanár legyek.
I will go to the university in Budapest, BGE, in international studies.
And we have now a lot of friends from Maharashtra state who can keep us in this way, you know? And we are not alone anymore.
Thank you for India, because without the example of Dr. Ambedkar, without the example of the movement following him, we couldn't do this high school.
Ambedkar is not died. because if I am looking in your eyes, I can see him in your eyes. And I want to plant Dr. Ambedkar life in many people in Hungary, and please be proud with us.